Hey, what it do, man? This is your boy North End Floyd back with a reaction review, man. And we finna check out Jupiter, Uh Jupiter is amazing. It's the biggest planet in our, solar system and stuff like that. And it's mysteries. We always see like the little red circle, which they say is like a humongous, huge hurricane or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's constantly just going nonstop. But that's pretty much all we know about Jupiter. That's all they give us. But now they're saying that scientists discovered something new on Jupiter. You know, what is it? We don't know. We always see Jupiter just, just the planet itself. But like what's in that atmosphere, what's under the atmosphere, what I'm saying? We don't know what's under that atmosphere. We're just assuming, what I'm saying, it's a gas giant. And there could be civilizations under there we don't even know, bro. What I'm saying? Let's see what they talking about. Let's see what they discovered supposedly. And what I'm saying, let's kick back and check out this reaction review. So what I'm saying, let's see what they got.
What's the largest planet in the solar system? If you say Jupiter, you are correct. However, the
Bang.
planet is not just huge. It contains lots of mysteries that have been fascinating scientists since its discovery. Thanks to multiple spacecraft visiting the planet, we've expanded our knowledge of the jumbo planet significantly. What have scientists recently discovered on Jupiter, and how did the discoveries affect the Sun and our own planet? In this video, we bring you the insane new discoveries scientists just made from the images of Jupiter sent to the Earth. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system, named after the king of the gods in Roman mythology. This gas giant presents as an enigma bathed in colorful clouds assaulted by strong winds that sweep below circles of rings and moons. Jupiter is simply gigantic. The planet is heavier than double the mass of all the other solar system planets put together. In fact, the biggest storm on the planet, the Great Red Spot, covers an area twice the width of Earth. You will see more wonders of the Great Red Spot later in this video. By volume, Jupiter is large enough to contain more than 1,300 Earths.
Damn.
To put that in perspective, if Jupiter were the size of a basketball, Earth would be the size of a grape. Did you know that Jupiter was probably the first planet to be created in the solar system? Scientists say it was formed from the leftover gases in the formation of the Sun. But more interestingly, if Jupiter had been 80 times larger when it formed, it would have been a star. Not a star in the same league as the Sun, but a star nonetheless. In fact, some astronomers call Jupiter a failed star, but that's not really an appropriate description. This is because Jupiter does not have nearly enough mass to trigger a fusion reaction in its core. This is how stars generate energy, by fusing hydrogen atoms together under extreme heat and pressure to create helium, releasing light.
This summer, love is in blind, it's neon, and we can devil handle the heat. We've got
and heat in the process. Jupiter's orbit averages about 483,682,810 miles, or 778,412,020 kilometers from the Sun. This means it is 5.203 times farther than Earth's average distance from the Sun. At perihelion, that is the point Jupiter is closest to the Sun, it is 460,276,100 miles, or 740,742,600 kilometers away. But at aphelion, or the farthest distance that Jupiter reaches from the Sun, the distance jumps to 507,089,500 miles.
The fact that we know, what I'm saying, these stats and these miles is kind of, it's kind of dope, to be honest with you, how they just broke it down, how far and how close it gets and stuff. But just imagine if Jupiter was like a star itself. That'd be amazing. Would it make our climate a little bit more hotter? Like what? You know what I'm saying? I think that would be kind of dope though. But I seen Jupiter recently, by the moon. It was just shining so bright or whatever and stuff like that. And they said that was Jupiter, and thought that was pretty amazing seeing Jupiter like that. So,
or 816,081,400 kilometers. As the third brightest object in the solar system after Venus and the Moon, you can see Jupiter without the aid of an instrument. Many people have seen the planet but might not know what it is. Chances are, if you see a really bright star high in the sky, then you're looking at Jupiter. Even simple binoculars can help you see Jupiter in more detail, But if you can get a telescope, you will get a better view. You might even spot some of Jupiter's numerous moons. If you were to find yourself on Jupiter, what does the planet look like? The jumbo planet has an atmosphere similar to
Oh, and that movie Jupiter Ascending, that movie was trash. That movie was so garbage. I had high expectations for that movie. That movie really made you look bad, Jupiter. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll be mad at that.
the Sun, which is not surprising since there are theories Jupiter came from leftovers of the Sun. But that means an atmosphere made up mostly of hydrogen and helium. However, digging into the planet, you will find a core that is partially dissolved. The colorful light and dark bands that you can observe covering Jupiter are created by strong east-west winds in the planet's upper atmosphere. They move at a dizzying speed of more than 335 miles per hour, or 539 kilometers per hour. Also, the white clouds found in the light zones contain crystals of frozen ammonia. However, the darker clouds contain chemicals found in the dark belts. At the deepest visible levels are blue clouds. One fascinating thing about these bands is that they are not static, they keep changing. And when it rains instead of water, what you get is diamond. Scientists have discovered the magnetic field of Jupiter, which tops the list among all the planets. It is a whopping 20,000 times stronger than the Earth's. This magnetic field is so strong that it traps electrons and other charged particles, causing radiations that are stronger than the level that can kill humans. The moons, which we talk about more later,
It's an ugly
are
ass moon.
direct recipients of this intense radiation. In fact, apart from the Sun, Jupiter emits the most radio waves of any object in the solar system. However, there are more oddities that scientists have discovered about this massive planet. For instance, Jupiter rotates faster than any other planet. This means a day on the planet is under 10 hours long. The rapid spin affects the planet's appearance, causing it to bulge at the equator and flatten at the poles. The interaction of Jupiter's gravitational field and that of the Sun also influences a group of more than 11,000 intriguing asteroids clustered into the regions preceding and following Jupiter in its orbit around the Sun. These
Wow.
asteroids are known as the Trojans, named after characters in Homer's epic, The Iliad, a popular tale about the Trojan War. Remember the Great Red Spot we talked about earlier? What exactly is it and what gives it the reddish hue? The Great Red Spot is a giant storm blowing like a hurricane non-stop for more than 350 years. This storm was first
Damn.
identified by Italian astronomer Giovanni Cassini in 1665. Its edge spins in the counterclockwise direction at speeds between 270 to 425 miles per hour, or 430 to 680 kilometers per hour. This counterclockwise direction makes it an anti-cyclone storm. Coming to the color, which can range from brick red to slightly brown, probably comes from small amounts of sulfur and phosphorus in the ammonia crystals in Jupiter's clouds. The spot has been shrinking for quite some time, although the rate may be slowing in recent years. However, Jupiter has many other storms apart from the Great Red Spot. According to data from the Juno spacecraft this year, Jupiter's gargantuan polar cyclones are driven by convection or heat rising from lower altitudes to the higher atmosphere. This is basically the same way ocean vortexes work on Earth. You can't talk about Jupiter without mentioning its moons. With 79 known moons, this planet is the
79?
most endowed in the solar system. The four largest moons of Jupiter, called Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, were discovered by Galileo Galilei, which is why they are sometimes called the Galilean moons. Jupiter
Oh, I got that telescope too.
has the largest moon in the solar system, known as Ganymede. This supersized moon is actually larger than Pluto and Mercury. Ganymede has the distinction of being the only moon known to have its own magnetic field. The Juno mission captured the terrifying sound from the magnetic field last year. That is not all about Ganymede. This planet-sized moon has at least one ocean between layers of ice. However, studies suggest the moon may contain multiple layers of ice and water stacked on top of one another, along with atmospheric water vapor first spotted last year. We will hear more about this fascinating moon as it will be studied in detail by the European Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer, or JUICE, spacecraft that will
Jupiter
launch
Icy
in
Moons, huh?
2023 and arrive at Jupiter's system in 2030. Another
2030?
moon worth studying is Io. This moon is the most volcanically active body known in our solar system. As Io orbits Jupiter, the planet's immense gravity causes tides in Io's solid surface that rise 300 feet or 100 meters high and generate enough heat to maintain the volcanism. These volcanoes release more than 1 ton of material every second into the
Welcome aboard.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get rid of this.
We're Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN.
space,
I have to get rid of these ads.
contributing to strange radio waves emanating from Jupiter. The yellow-orange pepperoni pizza coloration of Io is caused by the sulfur the volcano spew. You also have to talk about Jupiter's rings. It has 3 rings, as confirmed by NASA's Voyager 1. While other planets like Saturn and Neptune have more prominent rings, Jupiter has a set of its own composed of dust particles coming from some of the moons. The main ring is about 20 miles or 30 kilometers thick, and more than 4,000 miles or 6,400 kilometers wide. And now we come back to the massive size of Jupiter because scientists have discovered the effect it has on the whole solar system. Thanks to its massive gravity, Jupiter has been fingered for pushing planets Neptune and Uranus away from the Sun. This is due to a theory known as the NICE model, which claims that Jupiter and other gas giants caused a phenomenon known as the Late Heavy Bombardment, a time when the Earth and other planets nearby were bombarded with debris. However, that was in the past, as Jupiter now plays a mostly protective role to our planet. Jupiter helps to keep asteroids and comets from bombarding Earth, protecting the inner planets by acting as the vacuum cleaner of the solar system. The enormous gravity it generates can suck in and absorb smaller objects, like the 1994 collision of Jupiter and comet Shoemaker-Levy 9. Jupiter can also propel them out of the solar system entirely, but that same gravity can still accelerate some of those objects toward the inner planets too, so it's a mixed blessing. In all of this, you may be asking if there is a possibility of life on Jupiter.
Yeah.
Well, according to scientists, if life were to be on Jupiter, it would have to exist at a height literally in the clouds, where the temperature is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 degrees Celsius. The studies suggest Jupiter has enough water to sustain life, so perhaps one day we will find evidence of life on Jupiter. However, life is more probable on one of Jupiter's moons, known as Europa. The moon could host a radiation-shielded hidden ocean, and marine life might be floating around there. Let's hear what you think of Jupiter in the comments section below.
Interesting what they said about Jupiter. It's still unknown. I mean, it's still a lot of research that we need to do for Jupiter. You know, they're saying it's water down there to, sustain life. You know, like I said, the movie Jupiter Ascending or whatever it was, that movie was trash, but that made me think that maybe it could be life down there in Jupiter. You know, maybe they got the gas little, cloud stuff, that surrounds Jupiter. But once you go down and descend, you see you see like land and everything, kind of like when on the Matrix. I forgot which one, but they go, I think it's the third one, when Neo and his girl, they go up above the clouds and you see the sky and everything, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then you drop down and, it's kind of blanketed, so, but, kind of opposite, but still, y'all know what I'm saying. But man, look, we need to see what's going on with Jupiter. And hopefully in 2030, if that satellite, if that telescope or whatever gets there, maybe we can uncover some things. Maybe the government will let us know what's going on. And, it'd be amazing times and stuff like that. But, man, I'm finna get out of here, man. This is your boy, North End Floyd, man. I appreciate y'all kicking back for another review. Y'all like, subscribe, y'all share. Y'all hit me up in the chat. I respond back. So, y'all be safe. Y'all be easy. I'm out of here, man.